Either you agree with me or you're my enemy. We are living in a time when it seems appropriate to say, if he stays, I'll go, or if he stays, I go. My brothers and sisters, we are living in very polarizing times. So I want to ask the question to you today, whose side are you on? Are you on the side of law enforcement? Or are you on the side of unarmed black men? Are you conservative or are you liberal? Are you welcoming and affirming of LGBTQ lifestyles, or are you for the Religious Freedom Bill, which says you can deny someone based on your beliefs? Are you pro-Obama, or are you a Tea Party Republican? Are you for Palestine, or are you for Israel? Are you a maritimer, or are you from away? Are you from over town, or up home, or out home? Are you a Muslim, or are you a Christian? We live in very polarizing times, and after all, it is human to choose sides. The problem with polarization, however, is choosing one side is often at the expense of the other side. Choosing one side often leads to the suppression and oppression of those on the other side. Choosing one side over another leads down a slippery slope of discrimination, and then that discrimination leads to dehumanization, which can easily lead to extermination. What I am suggesting is blindly choosing sides historically has led to genocide, fratricide, and religicide. Almost 21 years ago to the day, on April 6, 1994, the Hutu majority killed over 800,000 Tutsi and Hutu sympathizers in Rwanda. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime killed up to 12 million Jews and people of color and non-Christians. All over North America, so-called Christians annihilated First Nations population. The transatlantic slave trade was made possible by Africans selling fellow Africans to European Christians for economic exploitation. And just last week, history repeated itself when 148 Kenyan students were murdered because they identified themselves as Christian.
Yeah.
And so there is a history of Christian murderers or Christian martyrdom. And so I have to ask the question to you again today. Whose side are you on? Now, somebody may want to shy away from this conversation and create some distance because in your mind, you haven't murdered anyone. And prayerfully, that is true. You may not have physically murdered someone, but there is such a thing called soul murder. And soul murder is when you talk about someone in such a way that you dehumanize them, and by consequence, you murder their soul. The Bible says that life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Preach.
So the question is, have you been breathing life? Or have you been committing murder? And I know it's not popular, but there needs to be some murder investigations right here in the church.